Somewhere over the rainbow, podcast land, swearing, spoilers and opinions, always there at hand. Ta-da! Thank you.
Wonderful.
Cheers.
Can you get out of my bathroom, please? How did you even get in here? I locked the door.
I just needed the
Got
loo.
one of those little Jimmy things in you where you unlock the door from the other side.
Jimmy lock things.
The Jimmy locks.
The famous Jimmy locks. Get down to the hardware store, buy your Jimmy locks, get into Jordan's bathroom.
Right, yeah. This is all very well, but please, actually, can you get out?
Okay.
Enjoy the podcast. Hello, and welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
I'm Keiran.
Yes, you are. And this is the podcast where we watch the IMDb top 250 films. We use a random number generator. It tells us what to watch. And then we watch it and we tell you whether it was worth it or not. So, Keiran, what are we watching today?
Today, we are watching Fargo, which is from 1996. Big up 96.
It's a good year.
It is a good year. And it is number 163 on the list.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about what you think is going to actually happen.
Fargo, you know what? I just think it's some kind of American thing. I know that the bloke from The Office, what's the guy's name? Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman, yeah.
He's in the TV show, is he not? Fargo.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. And also from the poster, it looks like there's a dead body on the floor with blood spilling out of it.
Yes.
So tying those things together, I think it's a crime film in America somewhere.
Okay.
And that's all I got, really. I don't know. That's it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, I mean, that sounds like a pretty smart, educated guess.
Thank you.
I can't see the picture. So from the name of it, I reckon it's like, you know, when they have those competitions where children get to do things with like, you know, like there's a competition like, so basically, right, this is my idea.
Okay.
A studio, a filmmaker, a director has come into a school and there's been a competition for the best idea for a film. And this is the worst one. And they just decided to go with it. And it's like a science fiction, like he's heard the Star Trek boldly going, like it's Fargo, like they're going far, and it's a space odyssey adventure based around the longest journey that ever happened into space.
Okay.
And Space Marine Captain John went into his ship, the SS Fargo, and they go far.
Okay. Space Marine Captain
John, yeah.
Captain's the SS.
Yeah,
Fargo.
and he killed the aliens.
He killed the aliens. SS Marine Captain.
I'm pretty sure that's a pretty old meme.
He killed the
space. It was an old story or something.
Oh, okay. I don't know about that, but you're saying that they go far.
Yeah, they go. It's Fargo. Yeah, Fargo,
Okay.
The Space Odyssey.
Are you saying that it's going to take the film will take as long as that journey would take? Would it be real time? Because that would be quite laborious.
That's the kind of childlike USP that's brought to it.
Yeah, exactly.
My idea is that you sit and you have to watch it until they would get where it is that they're going. So it's a film that lasts light years.
Okay, let me just speak with the other directors on the board to see if we have the money. Okay, well, it seems like we think people might be invested in spending 300 years in a cinema. So,
well,
yeah, sure.
I mean, the benefit is that if we get the bums on the seats, they will stay there.
Okay, yeah, we can ensure that. Wicked. All
okay.
Right, so I look forward to spending the rest of my life watching this film.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
See you in 300 years.
Blue, blue, blue. And we're back, and it was a very far away indeed. So some fast thoughts then.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
For sure.
Burgers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Snow.
You're down tooting.
That top coat.
Money.
Steve Buscemi.
Kidnapping.
Funny looking.
In a general kind of way.
State troopers.
Boring people with boring lives.
Yeah. Everyday Joes.
And that'll do.
Okay. So, Kieran, you ready? You fired up with your 15-second pitch. You got it. You got it in the chamber.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. 3, 2, 1, go.
A guy is in a shit financial situation, so he has to try and fake a kidnapping so he can get money off his wife's dad. He tries to kidnap his wife. It goes wrong. Loads of people die, and so a detective has to try and uncover it. She lives a normal life, but then everyone fucking dies, and the guy gets arrested in the end.
16.9.
Did I tell the story, Jordan? Did I tell the story?
Not really.
I feel like I'm just not doing.
It's hard.
A good job.
Let's not forget that it's a hard thing to do to sum up. What was it? Like maybe 2 hours, maybe an hour and 45 minutes.
Hour and 45 film
in 15 seconds. That's not even like.
There's like
10 minutes to a second.
Yeah, there's like three plot lines kind of going on. Well, kind of at the same time, and a lot of things interweave a little bit at different points.
Okay, let's do a proper synopsis.
Okay.
But I want to try and keep it as sort of straightforward as possible.
Okay.
Okay.
We've been telling ourselves this for weeks, so let's give a good shot.
So let's just try and fly through the main points
in less than 15 minutes.
In less than 15 minutes. I can't remember how the film starts.
There's a car and driving on a road, and there's a big anthemic soundtrack.
Yeah, that seems entirely pointless to the film. Really.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, it sets up the scenery. We find out that, first of all...
We're in a bar, and there is a man called Jerry. Yeah?
Did I watch the start of the film?
You must have.
I literally cannot remember a bar.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna take it from here.
Okay.
There's a guy called Jerry who is completely unrelated to last week's Jerry, who becomes Daphne. But yeah. So there is
really taken a bad turn.
Yeah, there is no gender changing in this film, as far as I'm aware. So a guy called one second. A guy called Jerry Lundegaard.
Yeah.
Is going into a bar, and Steve Buscemi and another guy are there on the other side of a table, and they say,
I'm glad you knew who Steve Buscemi was, because you didn't know that before.
No, I did. That was like the one name that I knew from Big Lebowski.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you didn't know. Okay.
I was like, Steve Buscemi?
Yeah.
And you were like, oh my God. And it's because I saw the name on the credits. I think I kind of added up who it was. And I'm quite proud of myself that I know who it is.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know who it is because Steve Buscemi plays Steve Buscemi in every film that he does.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So the guy's name is Shep, who has set up this this kidnapping.
Yeah. And he works at the garage that Jerry works at. The car sales. He works in the garage part of the sales.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing at a time. So, all right. So Jerry goes into this bar, and there is Steve Buscemi and this other guy, who essentially are kind of like, hitmen / people who do dodgy things. And like, you know, when people are like, I know a guy.
Yeah. This is the guy that he knows.
These are the guys that are referred to. And so Jerry says, okay, well, they have a little debate about what the deal is, but essentially the deal is that the kidnapping happens first, and then they'll get $40,000 afterwards, and then another $40,000 when the whole thing gets done.
Yeah, so the guys who are doing, Steve Buscemi and his friend, they believe that the ransom that they're supposed to be asking for, or the ransom that they're going to be asking for, is like $80,000. So then they give the $80,000, and then they get the $80,000 and they split it. That's the idea. So the two get 40, and Jerry gets 40, and everyone goes away happy. This is all for a deal. isn't it? Though it's not that he's necessarily in financial issues. It's that Jerry wants to do some sort of landscape property thing. He's got this idea that he brings to his wife's father, who is incredibly wealthy, and he wants to get some sort of it's like a parking lot or something like that. Something I don't think it's quite explained. He organizes for this thing to go down because actually what he's asking for in the ransom is $1 million, not 40, not 80.
No,
he's asking for $1 million. And the money that he needs is 750,000. Yeah. So he does this and he organizes this. However, the dad actually comes around and decides to give him the money, but not under the same terms that he wanted it originally. So he doesn't actually need for this to happen anymore because it's sort of not. It's just it can be done, but he's not going to get the money, and it's just a bit awkward.
So on the same day that that his wife's dad, his father-in-law, decides to give the money, that is the same day that his wife gets kidnapped by these people.
So whilst he's having this humble conversation with the dad, it's actually already happening, and he can't get in touch with them to stop it from happening. So it's done, and she's been kidnapped, and now he's sort of like, okay.
This is set in 85, by the way.
Yeah.
So
we get a nice little scene where he's practicing how he's going to call the dad, and he's just like, "It's Jerry. Oh, geez.
It's about Gene. Geez.
Oh, geez. It's real bad.
It's not good." And I was thinking that they were Canadian the whole time.
Yeah.
It's actually they're just North American. It's pretty much on the board.
I thought it was Canadian.
No, because they all had American flags and stuff. It's Minnesota, 1987.
Yeah?
Yeah. So it's because they're so close to Canada.
Oh.
And I deliberately said that.
Okay.
Because I have this thing.
Okay.
Which I'll bring up in the bits and bobs.
Okay.
So
they kidnap her. Yeah, and they put her in the car and they're driving away. Whilst they're driving, they get pulled over by a policeman because they forgot to put the right tags onto the car.
Because part of the deal was that Jerry, who is the sales manager of a car dealership, gave them a car.
Yeah.
But what you're supposed to do when you get the car dealership, when you get the car from a dealership, is you change the license plate.
License plate.
Or change the license plate to legit license plates, and then you put them on the car.
Because the dealer always wins.
and so the police pull them over. So you haven't got the right license plates.
Yeah.
So you got to put the right license plates on your car. And the angry person, not Steve Buscemi, but the angrier one, kills the cop.
Yeah, because basically the cop figures Steve Buscemi tries to bribe him, and the cop's having none of it because he's a good Canadian policeman.
Slash North
American. Then he shoots. So then, Steve's friend shoots him.
I mean, they're not so much friends as much they are just accomplices.
Yeah. So he shoots him, but whilst Steve's dragging the body, another car drives past. So now Steve's accomplice drives the car to chase after them. They rear off into the road, and he shoots them. He shoots both of them.
Yeah.
And they're dead. And then so
it's a triple homicide.
Yeah, scene's over. We've got 3 dead people. They call in a officer called Marjorie, and she's now sort of brought into the case. She's a pregnant lady. You can see that she comes from. It's just an ordinary person. She's not like Captain Super Detective or anything. She's a good policeman.
Doing her
good
job.
Ideas. She's got a good head on her.
Policewoman.
A good police officer. She's got the right stuff. And so it's basically the story continues with her trying to figure out how this has happened.
Yeah, Jerry is losing his shit because the police officer is coming into. So Marjorie comes to this town, Twin Cities, where Jerry is based. Jerry is saying to his father-in-law, he's like, "We've got to give them £1 million. We've got to play ball." This kind of goes back and forth, and it ends with a bit later on in the film. It ends with the father-in-law saying, "No, if we're dealing with my money, I'm going to give it to them." But before this point, the kidnappers and stuff, they tell Jerry, listen, we need more money. We need to work this out because there's blood's been spilled and all of this stuff. The detective is trying to figure out what's been going on, and we see a bit more insight into her life because she gets a call from like an old school friend, and they catch up for a drink when she's in Twin Cities, and he's like a real fucked up dude. That's kind of like a side story thing.
Yeah.
Not really relevant to the synopsis, so I'm just going to move on.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel like there's not a lot that happens until like the final big things, right?
No, not really. There's like just lots of little evidence gathering sort of things and things that sort of build the stress and the tension.
So the next big thing that happens is that the dad says, I'm going to give this money to this guy. So the dad, when I say the dad, I mean the father of the woman who's been kidnapped.
Yeah,
so,
Jerry's father-in-law.
Thank you. And goes to the top of this multi-story car park to meet Steve Buscemi and to give him the $1 million. But Steve Buscemi kills the father-in-law because he's like, who the fuck are you? I said I'd meet with Jerry, blah, 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 blah. Shoots him. Yeah, obviously. Steve Buscemi gets shot in the cheek.
Yeah.
But obviously he still survives.
Yeah.
And as Steve Buscemi is driving away, Jerry is following. He's making his way to the multi-story car park. They kind of cross each other in the multi-story car park. Steve Buscemi wants to get out of the bloody multi-story car park, shoots the guy who's doing the barrier thing. Jerry gets to the top of the multi-story car park, is like fuck, and puts his father-in-law in the boot of the car.
Yeah. Drives
away. I don't know. We don't know where he's put that body.
No.
We never find that out.
No.
So Steve Buscemi's got all this money.
Yeah.
Drives to like I guess the state line or something like that.
He takes like 80,000 out and then buries the rest.
Exactly.
With a little red stabby, a little red.
It's an ice scraper.
Yeah, ice scraper.
And then he goes back to the
the cabin. It's like
the cabin.
It's a cabin in the middle of the woods.
The cabin, like this, their little safe house.
Yeah.
And it turns out that the other guy, so Steve Buscemi's accomplice, has actually killed Jean, the wife.
Yeah.
Because apparently she was just whinging too much one time, so straight up just got killed.
Yeah. They have a little argument, like raised voices, and Steve's like
because Steve says, "You can take my truck. My truck. I'm taking the Sierra, the new car.
Yeah.
And here's your 40,000." And the guy was like, "No, we said that we'd split the Sierra." And the guy's like, well, Steve says, "What the fuck are you supposed to do? Split it in half with a chainsaw?" He's like, "No, like one of us pays the other for the one half of it." He's like, bullshit. And so Steve just kind of storms off. His accomplice takes an axe and kills him.
Yeah.
Now, next thing we see is the cop who's driving back from Twin Cities to go back to Brainerd. Is that the name of the place?
Something like that. Brainer.
Yeah, something. Yeah. And so she's doing the long drive home, and she's taking a detour around the lake or whatever, and she sees
the car,
the Sierra, the Sierra that she's been looking for.
Yeah.
And so she goes for a little discover.
She goes out on foot patrol.
Yeah, and so she's been real careful with the gun and everything. She goes to the back of the house, and it's the fucking grimmest scene.
Yeah.
As Steve Buscemi's accomplice,
Steve's friends put in Steve's leg into a wood chipper.
A wood chipper, and it's fucking gross. And so the accomplice tries to run away. Marjorie shoots him in the leg.
Yeah.
Puts him in the back of the police car. They drive back to Brainer,
yeah.
And that's that.
And then there's the scene where Jerry. So basically, at one point, Jerry cracks under the pressure because Marge goes to sort of ask him about whether any Sierras have gone missing on the lot. He can't really give her an answer, and then she goes. She comes back again, same questioning, and he's like, "Okay, you want me to go and goddamn check that? I'll go now. I'll go and count." And then he basically just gets in his car and drives away. So he's like pretty much
on the run.
Yeah, he's given it away that he's done something wrong. I think that's the only thing we see how they really figure it out, because they find him later in the last scene that we sort of see. They're at a motel. They like knock on the door like, "Jerry, And he's like, yeah, just a minute. They crash through, and he's trying to get out through the window, and they just arrest him, and that's that. That's Jerry arrested. Everyone gets arrested, and it's over. End of film.
There we go.
Yeah.
Fuck me, this is a bleak film. I mean, good, but bleak. Would you agree?
Oh, this film. It's hard, isn't it? Because it's like, it really captures that ordinary people just getting fucked over with an extraordinary set of circumstances. It doesn't feel bleak to me. It feels natural.
Well, I don't think it's natural that any of these things would happen, though.
No.
I mean, it feels realistic.
When you look at it, looking at it from Marge's perspective,
okay,
like the way that it is filmed and the way she is, it just looks like very down to earth and like everyone acts in a way that seems normal. It doesn't feel so scripted. It doesn't feel like you're watching a film. It's like that is a reaction that you would genuinely expect from a real human being in that situation.
I kind of like the reality of everything.
That's what I mean. Yeah, this world is bleak, but it's too interesting because it feels so real for it to bother me, to make me feel like I'm. It's like when you're watching a documentary, a BBC Planet, and the tigers getting the zebra. It's sad, but it's also fascinating.
Yes, very different, but yes. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, one of my favorite things about it was how you could see just the reality of Marjorie's life and about how normal it is. And I was really thinking a lot of it, just how boring her life was in everything apart from her job, because her job, I mean, it just really normalized what her job was.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, triple homicide. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, being a child of two people who are police, like, they do get that desensitized that you can see how it would just be a day at work, just like any normal day,
which is mental.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. One thing I would say at the top of this is, if you've watched this, or if you haven't watched this, if you go and watch this, if you do like this film, I would highly suggest watching the series, or at least the first season.
Have you seen it?
I've seen the first season and half of the second, I think.
And it's good.
Yeah, really, it picks up from where the film ends.
Oh shit!
Yeah, and it really, it does a really good job of keeping that same sort of vibe of realism and strange.
Are all the same characters still in it?
No, new characters, but same place, and the money is there.
Oh, because it's stashed somewhere.
It's still there, isn't it? The little red thing.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, it's like it just picks up from where it left off. And it basically, this series just does the whole thing of strange scenarios and interesting characters, basically.
But also like really same, like just boring lives.
Yeah.
Wow.
Felt very close to home. Oh. Eating snacks and watching TV in bed. I love it. I haven't got any issues with that.
I've got a bunch of beefs.
Okay.
So, why the theme music? It felt like there wasn't a lot of music used in the whole film at all. It was only at the start and at the end. But the music, it was good. But I mean, there was a bit of music during the film, but it was like really anthemic. And I was just wondering why it was so anthemic when all you could see was just snow.
Yeah. I thought it was really good because it was quite sparse. But I thought it painted a really good. It felt like what a vast wilderness would look like, in as much as the emotions you'd feel and stuff like that. It was tense. The music was tense. It set up that this is going to be a tense film, and then it just shows you nothing. And it's like that, looking out into the unknowing, and it's like that sort of thing. I thought it did that. I set up that mindset really well. Right.
It's a bit mind-blowing for me because I've always lived I grew up in Milton Keynes,
Milton Keynes, shout out.
Yeah, whatever. It's a city.
Man, how are you going to dish your hometown like that?
Whatever. And now I live...
Did it again?
I don't really have that strong feeling. I don't really have that kind of strong feeling towards it. I've got a lot of love to make up in Milton Keynes because wasn't that good to me when I was for 16 years, and then I moved to London, and it was like, okay, cool, this is a very different place, which is full of people and full of stuff. And in this film, it's
Full
like
of
this
stuff.
There's just endless snow, and just like for like the horizon is just snow, and just long.
Could you
long
imagine
plains.
actually living in a place where it's
Fuck
that cold
no.
all the time?
No, why does anyone live there?
I know. Like when it snows here, we like lose our shit. Like and everything stops.
Exactly. So I was thinking about how come people live there. So I'm thinking, okay, you got native people, Native Americans, and so they've lived there their whole lives because they've got tribes. Right. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, that makes sense. And so they might have over time developed a bit of a settlement, or white people went over and they're like, oh yeah, we'll have some part of this. Classic white people move. And so they move in and basically just like either take over or co-run or whatever the industry there.
Yeah.
And so, but it's never as if like they're making a lot of stuff happen. It's just like, I reckon there was one business one time. And so let's say there's like a shop with the people who live there.
Yeah.
And there's a school and a hospital and whatever else.
Okay.
But then one person gets a little bit more curious. And so they have like a car dealership, for example. And so a job gets opened somewhere, but there isn't enough people in that town to make that happen. And so they call up, "Oi, Bob, will you move to this town in the middle of butterfuck nowhere for a job because you're jobless right now?" And so the guy's like, okay, why not? Brings his whole family over. And so the population very gradually grows. And so there's slowly and slowly more and more things. But in fact, the only reason why there's ever anything there is because just one bastard got a bit more curious about a place that Native Americans were living. Or just, I mean, there might not have even ever been Native American people. I don't even fucking know. But I'm just saying, why would anyone deliberately choose to live there? When they haven't been living there for like, you know, as tribes people.
Okay, let's just try and unpack that. Because there's a lot there. So you're suggesting that people would be there because other people would tell them to come here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because who would move there?
I mean,
who would move there for
people may
joy?
move there for many. There's many reasons that you could find. Like, I mean, ice fishing, stuff like that. That could be quite easy over there. People could easily have made, success. Like, could have survived through that, and perhaps some hunting, stuff like that. To begin with, you know, as you're starting settlements and such, ice. Selling
for
ice.
the ice trade. No, because that was a thing. That was a
Exactly,
thing.
yeah.
Remember, like we mentioned last week,
Exactly. That's
they
what
used
I
to
mean.
sell
Yeah.
ice back in the day, and so maybe the family's been living there for centuries, and well, not for centuries, but for decades.
It also, I mean,
Maybe.
this could have been winter. We don't know. It doesn't say when this was set, so it could have.
What time of the year?
Yeah, like it
It
could
was
have been
bloody
winter.
snow,
Yeah,
bloody snowy and cold. So,
but in general, yeah. I mean, I don't understand why you would want to live there.
okay, moving on. Why does Steve Buscemi always play Steve Buscemi? Like I mentioned in the synopsis, like why does he just?
I was actually, when I was watching this, I was thinking, like, what other characters do I know that he's played that are any different? It's because his voice is so unique.
Because
I think.
he's really good at acting.
Yeah.
Like, he's great at, you know, saying lines and making them sound convincing and shit. Sure, the person that he plays in Big Lebowski is very different. Like, he's not as much of a scumbag. He's not great either, but he's still the same wiry kind of guy in every single film.
Well, but that's because he is. So why does The Rock always play The Rock?
I mean, I don't
Because
know how
The
much
Rock
else
is a
he can
good
do.
thing to be able to do.
Like, it's just unbelievable. I feel like right now, at least 5 times a year, there's another big, ridiculous, bombastic action movie that comes out with The Rock in it.
Oh yeah, well that's just because he's like steroids for film.
Exactly.
You just inject a hot dose of The Rock, and the film is successful.
A hot dose of The Rock. Mm-hmm.
Hashtag Hot Rocks.
Volcanic. There was a very nitpicky thing. The first time that we were introduced to Jean, the wife, she's doing a lot of housewife stuff. She's chopping some veg.
Yeah.
When she says hi to Jerry as he comes in, she looks up from chopping the vegetables. I just think that's bad health and safety. You should be taking care of.
Yeah.
You should be watch
Very
whilst you
astute
chop.
point. No.
I wrote that down. Watch whilst you chop and be
Watch
careful.
whilst you chop. Yeah, absolutely.
So you want to be careful. Also, I said I wrote down that no, this is going to be scary. Sad face, and I didn't write out sad face. I drew a little sad face.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was scary at points. There was blood and stuff, and
Yeah, there was blood.
yeah. Yeah.
It verged on like a slasher sort of type of deal, wasn't it? My first issue.
Go on.
I know that they're not like actually kidnapping her. You know, like I know it's not a really like a crime with hate at heart, and they're just running out to do something to get some. Like there's no intention of actually hurting her or anything like that. You know,
Well, I mean, they don't give a shit if they do.
Well, what I'm trying to say is realistically, they're not trying to do any damage. It's a bigger idea at play.
It's just for the job.
Yeah. However, Steve's friend, I really wish I knew the name of it.
Do we ever find out what his name was?
I don't know if we do. Steve's friend, he comes in and he looks at himself in the mirror, and I realized at that point, this guy is not wearing gloves and he hasn't got a mask on. Like he's got it on his head. He's got the balaclava on, but he's not pulled it down. And he's looking at himself in the mirror. And I thought he's thinking, fuck, this is stupid. I never put this mask down. I'm not wearing gloves. I'm a fucking idiot. He's just like, oh, she's behind me in the thing, isn't she? That's where she's going to jump out. I'm just like, no, he wasn't wearing it. I swear.
He was initially. He was right at the start. And then he took it off after the woman bit his hand.
Okay. Well, still, gloves. I mean, don't be an idiot.
Yeah. But he took off his gloves because did she not bite his hand?
I don't remember that.
Maybe he mustn't have been wearing gloves in the first place.
But even still, just like keep one glove on. I don't know. I just
DNA and stuff.
I just don't take that off. Don't ever do that. You haven't caught her yet. Like, why have you They come through the door and he's got his hat off. I swear. He's
the front door.
No, the bathroom door.
Oh yeah.
Before they realise she's jumped out. Before
they
they think she's jumped out of the window. He's already got his thing
the case.
up.
Yeah.
He was really rude to the parking operator.
That was unnecessary, wasn't it?
Steve, yeah.
I mean, the ultimate rudeness is killing someone, isn't it? And that's exactly what he does.
Well, yeah.
So he was very rude.
Yeah, but not that parking operator. The one where he just says he's decided not to park here.
I kind of agree with him though. It's like he came in for like 2 minutes, and didn't park. He was like, so I can understand that mentality. You go somewhere, and then you go to the parking lot. Sorry, I'm going to say car park because there's not the parking lot over here. You go to the car park. And you drive around and it's like, oh, no, I forgot my wallet at home. Or no, like I forgot the shoes that I wanted to return to the shop. So you go out and you're like, listen, I just went in and came out again because I didn't want to park. And there's no way that I could have been here for any longer or parked or whatever. I've literally just come in. And the guy was like, oh, it's a minimum charge of $4. And evidently the guy, he's another one of those boring people with boring lives jobs where you just do what you get told to do or something like that. And
but
so
it's
like,
just like the equivalent of if he's gone to, say, like a pub or something and just used the toilet and not bought anything.
No, because you're using the.
But he did use the surf. He did use it, didn't he? He came in, parked, and changed the plates over.
Yeah, but the argument that he was showing was that he didn't actually do anything.
But he did, though. He knows that he did. And yet he's acting like he didn't, and he's giving the guy shit for that.
Okay.
That's not okay. That's rude and unnecessary.
Hypothetically, if you had the situation where you wanted to return some shoes, but actually you forgot the shoes at home, and you went to the car park, and then you came out again because you were like, oh, I forgot the shoes.
I would have already paid for the car park.
As you went in?
It's a pay and display.
No, you pay when you come out. You pay for the amount of time that you're there.
Not the place where I go.
No. Jordan, we're using the car park. Stop being a dick. This is a car park like the one in the film.
Right.
So
I pay on my ex there.
Yeah. And let's say you had a box of shoes and you wanted to go into fucking, where'd you buy shoes from? Foot Locker or whatever. And you're like,
yes, bruv.
And you've completely forgotten that you've completely forgotten the shoes at home.
Yeah.
And so you go to the guy at the desk on your way out. Listen, I forgot my shoes at home. I'm going to be back here in half an hour anyway. But, you know, I've literally just been in and popped out. Would you expect to be charged?
I'd say, oh, mate, can you do us a favour?
Exactly.
And if you said no, then I'd go, fair enough.
Really?
I wouldn't go, you know what, you're a fucking idiot.
No, okay, yeah.
You're a fuck you and fuck this. fuck that, you fucking Weasley piece of shit.
Think you're special with your uniform and your piece of authority.
Here's your 50p and go fuck yourself. I would not be giving that.
Okay,
I'd be like, really?
Okay,
come on, man.
It is a bit extra.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Like, what I'd actually do in that situation, though, is just be like, oh, okay, well, can I just pay for the day for if I'm going to be back in half an hour, Kieran? I mean, I can probably just pay for an hour's worth of parking, right?
I think these are car park politics that we don't really.
I mean, you set up the hypothetical.
I would like to have these conversations, but I'm just aware that we're probably too much into the episode to continue going.
Yeah,
on.
We're now 50 minutes into the podcast. No, I'm joking.
Okay, thank fuck for that. Moving on.
That's all my beefs.
Okay, you know when the police officer pulls the car with Steve Buscemi, his accomplice, and the wife in the back. When it pulls him over because he hasn't got the right license plate.
Yes.
So when that happens, and the police officer looks at Steve Buscemi, he shines a light at the accomplice, looks in the back of the car. How does he not see the body?
How did he not see that?
How does he not see the body?
I don't know.
Like,
and why didn't she scream? Like,
exactly,
she just would scream. You hear a police.
Well, no, actually, because they said that. Well, he's like, well, we'll just have to shoot you. So she's scared of being killed.
The most convincing way possible.
He's like, we'll just have to shoot you.
Hey, lady, come on, be quiet, or I'm gonna have to shoot you.
I mean, she's just fucking
got all
scared.
The cards, I suppose.
And so she's kind of scared shitless. But the police officer definitely would have seen something. I completely just refused that he would have not noticed. One thing I really didn't like is the conversation that Marjorie had with the guy who got in touch with her. So we said that we'd bring this up.
Oh God, yeah, that was really uncomfortable.
So what was the name of this guy? Can't remember this guy's name.
I want to say Michael, but I don't know why.
I want to say Mike too. I think it's Mike. So Mike is an old school friend. He lives in Twin Cities as well.
Yeah.
She comes down to Twin Cities to investigate this thing. He saw her on the news.
Yeah.
And so he called her up saying, hey, I haven't seen each other for years, blah, 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 blah. Now, he presents himself like he's so fucking awkward. And the conversation on the phone and in person was just incredibly awkward. And it was all like, hey, what you been doing? And like, how you been? Really short answers. And what are you doing these days? Kind of, and I fucking hate those conversations anyway.
Yeah.
But also, and he was saying about how his wife died from leukemia and how he was really lonely and all of this stuff. Then she goes home or was talking to a friend of hers, or like in the hotel room or something, and this friend of hers says that Mike actually has been having a really shit time. This wife is just one woman that he's been infatuated with for years and years and years, and actually she's completely fine. She's not died at all.
Yeah.
And is evidently, he had to make up that she was dead to get over her. Like, how just fucked is that? This is a plot point that, or just like this character and everything, is completely removed from the story.
It's
but
just...
I think it was still good to have it in the film because it shows you that that Marjorie is a woman who has her own life and she has her own, I guess, friendships and whatever else.
Yeah, it also, like, I think it established how she established a sense of her character. When he like goes to, she's really nice, isn't she? Everyone in this film is like really nice. It's like, I'm glad to hear how you're getting on, and that's so great, and all smiles and smiles. And he's like, I'll just come and sit over here, like, and he sits next to her. And she's like, no, I think you should go and sit over there. And it's just like, no messing, deadpan.
I kind of liked that.
No, yeah, that's what I like. That's what I'm saying. It shows that she was like this nice, really smiley person. But
she has her boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. She has her boundaries and she's not like a pushover at all. Like, she's not just going to be like, okay, I don't really like this, but I'm not going to say anything sort of thing. Yeah. Which is what you may expect from someone who's so smiley and happy all the time.
Yeah.
Well, not, but
it was just such an uncomfortable conversation. And I mean, sure, it might have been realistic and whatever. It was just, oh God, it was so uncomfortable. I have a thing to point out. So would Jerry not be getting inheritance money if his father-in-law is dead?
No. Well, the thing that he said was that Jean and the son would never have to worry, implying that he only really cared about them two. So potentially
he's not on any
he's
form
not
of
going to get
inheritance.
any of the money. But I mean, if they're happily married, the money's going to go to Jean at least.
Well, Jean's now dead at the end of the film.
Well,
So Scotty.
oh, you mean like following the events of this film? Would he get?
So I mean, I wrote that note down whilst everything, like when it was in the middle of the film. So I thought that Jerry might get the inheritance, but actually, no, he probably wouldn't. After what you said, because it sounds like his father-in-law made sure that he wouldn't get any kind of inheritance.
He didn't like him.
That's pretty much for sure. So, but after this film, Scotty's got the inheritance. So, as much as his dad is in jail and his mum is killed, and so is his granddad.
Now he's balling.
He's balling, so he can buy all of his pain away.
Yeah.
Finally, the wood chipper incineration of the body parts scene was one of the most disgusting things I've seen in ages. That was gross.
I don't know. It didn't do much to me.
I mean,
I've seen it before, so maybe I was.
What do you mean you've seen it before?
I've seen Fargo before.
Oh, fuck me.
I've seen a man get bloodied by a wood chipper before.
Because I was thinking you were going to be like, yeah, my dad took me, it was a bring your son to work day. And, oh, check this out, Jordan. Oh, God, no.
That's what happens to your dreams. No, I don't know. I kind of think I knew that was coming, but you don't really see much. There's worse scenes than that, in my opinion. There's scenes where
in this film?
Yeah, there's
so like when the police officer gets shot and just blood spurts all over.
Yeah,
Steve Buscemi.
or where Steve gets shot in the face. Yeah, like there's bloodier bits than just because you're just.
But it's not the blood itself. It's like when you see Steve Buscemi's leg sticking out of the wood chipper.
Yeah,
it's like, that is just gross.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Also, I think I don't think his. Okay, so it's quite nitpicky. So the foot that is sticking out, or the leg that's sticking out of the wood chipper, this is so gross. The leg that's sticking out of the wood chipper, there's a white sock that's on the end of this leg.
Yeah.
So he clearly took the shoe off because he was like, that's for some reason a leg
that ain't gonna chip.
Yeah. The boot won't go, but the bone will.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, maybe the rubber is harder to chew or something. But the white sock, I mean, pristine. Very clean white sock, very nice. I would think that it was wet, first of all, because if maybe it's been put in the snow, but also it was perfectly put on. Like, when you put your socks on, and it's a really nice feeling to pull up your socks and there's like no crinkles in your socks or nothing. You know what I mean? That's what the sock was like. And I'd think if you're taking someone's shoe off their foot or whatever, you're not doing it, especially when you're just putting them in a wood chipper, you're not really thinking too much about how neat it is. You wouldn't think about the fucking... Right. I'm saying that the sock would be crinkled. The sock would be crinkled, and it's not realistic.
You're taking your goddamn sweet time of saying
it's not realistic. Also, there's a point where, like, this is quite a random thing, but like, there's a point where...
This is a random thing. What's coming up now is a random... Yeah, okay, let's go.
Where you're watching from the perspective of someone driving in a car. The car is driving towards a puddle, and you're hearing all of the sounds, a big fucking puddle. You're hearing all the sounds that are in the car. This is when a random police officer goes to a random guy's house and says, I was in a bar and there was a guy who was looking for women, blah, 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 the whole conversation. That was a bit of a weird side one. And he was like, oh, what did he look like? Oh, he was kind of funny looking. Anything else? Oh, in a general kind of way.
Yeah.
That was the thing that came up twice.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Really tied the film together. Thanks.
So the whole thing of... So you're seeing in the perspective of the fucking car, and you're driving towards a bloody... Oh, you're driving towards a puddle. I'm getting tired of what I'm saying. You're
just like stuck on a loop.
You're driving towards a puddle, and what I'm saying is you don't hear the puddle as you're driving through it, and that frustrates me that you don't hear the sound of what should be there.
Why can't you just say what you want to say sometimes?
Jesus Christ.
You have like have to create a landing strip for your like points. You need to you're down there like, the puddle's coming, and if you can hear the puddle, then you gotta make sure that when you're driving and you've got the car, and then everything's, and here comes the point, and you don't hear the puddle.
Oh God, I'm gonna get good at this one day.
Yeah, maybe. Who would you be in the film?
Fucking hell. I'd be Jerry and not do any of this.
I know, what a fuck.
Like, what an idiot. Like, just,
Come on,
just
Jerry.
face up to your issues and like fucking get a loan from the bank. That'd have been a good idea. If you need the money that bad, don't fucking kidnap your wife, because then you're gonna ruin your relationship anyway.
I just don't understand why he feels he needs to do this. Like, his father-in-law is not going to let his wife and son go hungry or homeless or any of that shit, and they quite like Jerry, so they're going to keep him around.
Obviously.
But also, Jerry, you have a job. Like, just stop being so fucking... Don't be so greedy arrange for your fucking wife to be abducted. That is just sick.
He's got the maddest inferiority complex.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just ridiculous. I just don't understand his thought processes. I mean, when you're really desperate for stuff, like, I can understand, like, taking out a mad emergency loan or something.
Yeah.
But there's other steps before... I mean, I'd like to see...
Yeah, you're right. Like,
to understand him, I would have had to see a sequel. A prequel.
Yeah.
Where it was like, Fargo, what Jerry had to do before getting to this point. And
fucking blinding title, that.
Right, thank you.
Fargo, the before the bit that happened.
Yeah. And it's just like him going to a casino, maybe, or like he doesn't.
It's not like he seems like a well-adjusted character, doesn't he? He doesn't have like any fucking massive gambling issues that we're aware of, or like fucking heroin addiction. Like, he's just...
This guy went from 0 to 100 so quickly.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that I would imagine. Like, let's say he's really stuck for money one time. Like, would you think about it, Jordan? So, okay, can I bring up something that's going up in your personal life, Jordan?
Sure.
You're moving into a place with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And let's say one month, it's all been going well, but let's say your job just fires you like that. Out of nowhere, you're made redundant, or with no pay or whatever. So you're real stuck for money and you can't pay the rent. Do you decide to kidnap your girlfriend?
Well, that's why we're moving in, so I can use that as a basis for someone to come and kidnap her.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, I've given it away now. Just pretend you didn't hear that.
So what? Okay, so maybe it's a bit easier to move straight to that place. You want to cut that?
No.
So, okay, I'm just saying that you wouldn't go to that place automatically.
No.
That's just
there's
crazy.
other avenues that you can go down. You don't need to create a hypothetical to confirm that. I think it's pretty straightforward.
You just wouldn't do that. Who would you be?
I would be Steve's mate, and I would just... Like, he looks like a very calm, collected guy.
Until he gets an axe.
Until, like...
Or until he just shoots people.
Yeah, he's way too impulsive.
Uh-huh.
I just remain calm and collected. And, like, the fact that he doesn't say anything is probably a massive advantage to someone like that.
Yeah.
You know, like, in that profession. Being quiet and not talking is a very good thing to be known to be in that line of work. I mean, I don't know personally, because I'm not in that line of work.
You're really making sure that your bases are covered after the thing that you just revealed.
Being impulsive is not a good thing to be in that line of work.
I think Steve Buscemi's character probably could have made some wiser decisions.
Yeah, I mean, so you look at, like, Jerry caused a lot of fucking issues. This guy, Steve's mate, like, if he caused the majority, he caused basically all of the deaths.
Yeah,
except from Jerry's father-in-law. Because he was impulsive, and all of the violence was an act of impulse from him. So I just chill out. I mean, if that situation had gone down differently, you know, there's just other ways. You know, there's other ways that you can handle it. You don't have to kill people.
Okay, all right, I see. If you were to bring someone into the film, who would you bring in?
I was kind of going with the idea of the film keeping this strangeness about it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that odd vibe.
Yeah.
Basically, I bring in Frosty the Snowman.
the snowman is what
Yeah, so but it's continuing the film.
Okay, right.
And it's almost like a sequel, but not really a sequel. It's just
so
like
the things that happened after the things that happened.
Imagine a film. Imagine this film.
Fargo, the things that happened after the things that happened.
Yeah, Fargo, the after bits.
Yeah.
So Frosty the Snowman is the sort of figment. Is he real? Is he not?
Right.
That Jerry's son creates.
Is he Scotty's new father figure?
In his like delusional, I've lost my mom and my granddad and my dad's in prison. He goes like, things go wrong for this boy.
Yeah.
And now he's created what we believe to be an imaginary father figure, but it turns out he's actually real. And he's actually like, I don't know, fucking his granddad's spirit or something. In a, you know, like just something stupid, or maybe he's like Steve's mate, but like he's been imprisoned in the body of a snowman to do justice for what he's caused by doing all of these impulsive killings, and now he has to make it right by being a good influence for the boy whose life he ruined. You know, like something with a real story to it. But,
okay,
but that just keeps with the fuckiness of this film. So yeah.
Okay, all right.
What about you?
I think I'll bring in Frozone from The Incredibles.
yes.
because
Honey, yeah, where is my super soup?
Yeah, it's in the cupboard, yeah. No, not German, but trying to be Canadian. Yeah, because the guy's
Oh
really...
jeez.
Oh jeez, I can eat my super soup.
jeez, where's my super soup?
Cannot do this impression.
Yeah, fucking hell. Yeah, I just think that because he's real good on ice and snow and stuff.
Yeah.
He's really good with the climate. He's not ever going to
He'd be in his element, literally.
He's literally in his element. And so I just think he'd be able to get to scenes of crime quicker, like like commuting from Twin Cities to Brainerd, whatever the place was. Like, I just think he's part of the police department that I think Marjorie could have definitely... She was rocking it, by the way. She's pregnant the whole time, and I was thinking that there was some shit was going to go wrong with her being pregnant.
Yeah.
It's kind of the classic, like, oh, someone's pregnant, babe's going to die kind of thing. And I was like... I was thinking that was going to happen, but it turns out that she wasn't, and she's completely capable of doing police work, and she's fantastic.
She's completely capable of doing police work. This policewoman officer is completely capable of doing police working.
Yes. I just think that Frozone could have just aided in speeding up the process.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think he could have caught them faster.
Yeah, and also could have put a bit of...
What's Frozone's detective work like, though? That's really... He's very good at freezing stuff, but...
Well, I just think... he probably just adds a bit... Sorry, that was my shoe on the table.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I was just fucking kicking all the shit.
Stop.
Sorry. Yeah. I just think Frozone would be... just add a bit more style into things. And as much as Marjorie does the whole... She's quite good cop thing. She's stern at the right times.
Yeah.
I think he would kind of be not the hype man. I think he would kind of go in there a bit guns blazing and be like... You're a fucking idiot, and she'd be like, "Hey, Frozone, calm down. Sorry, Marjorie, you take the lead." And then he would be the person.
I should cool you off right now.
That's exactly. There we go. I'm glad that you're doing the impressions of Frozone. Thank you very much, by the way. So I think he would go ahead and make the arrests. Also, if someone was trying to run away, he would just be like, Psh, "Have some ice on your legs." Yeah. So the one where she does the shot at the end and to shoot the guy in the legs, I thought that was cool. But he would just like catch him straight away.
Nice to meet you, motherfucker.
Yeah. A lot more swearing. Yeah, a lot more swearing from him because I think it'd be cool. And also, you'd see about him having an ordinary life with his wife.
Yeah.
Every single time he tries to leave the house, where's my super suit? Every single time. Every time. I think that'd be funny.
Or where's his regular suit? That would be funny.
yeah.
Honey, where's my suit?
It's not even where's my business suit. It's where's my suit.
Where's my suit?
Yeah.
Where am I shoot?
Frozone doesn't know where any of his stuff is. He's actually just blind.
When he comes home from work, he has his dinner.
His eyes are frosted over.
Where's my soup?
Oh.
Thank you. I'm quite glad I did that.
To take it one step further.
Yeah. Would you stay indoors to watch this film, Jordan?
Yeah, I would. I thought it was a great film. It's stands on its own, but unlike other films, unique and interesting. Interesting place, interesting people, interesting characters. Great little story. Loved it. Great. Stay indoors.
Wicked.
What about you?
It's difficult because...
No, it's not.
Hey, who are you?
I'm sorry. No, go on.
It's difficult, and it is difficult, Jordan, because at some points I was like, this is a fucking wicked film, and there were some points I'm like, this is gross, I'm not enjoying this. But there was ultimately way more of the points where I was like, I'm intrigued, and as much as I was bored by the just the bleakness of people's conversations and boring people having boring conversations and having boring lives.
Yeah.
Like when the most interesting thing that you're doing in your life is that painting is cool, but like it's such a boring place to live. I'm sorry, we're going to lose all the listeners that we have in Minnesota.
Alaska. Yes, that place.
Not Alaska, Minnesota. And I'm sorry for any Minnesotans who have been enjoying so far and then decide to leave us. But this place is...
I like you guys.
Well,
I think your place is cool. I like snow.
Anyway, so despite all of that, it is a really, really cool film, and I really like the way that the story is told.
Yeah,
like, it could have been told in a much different way, and I really like the use of silence.
Yeah,
I don't like it when films are just fucking noisy all the time.
Exactly.
This one was just nice and quiet. It was cool.
So did you?
So yes, stay indoors.
So yes.
Sorry, yeah, stay indoors.
And if you stay indoors, you could watch this one on Netflix.
That is true. Yeah.
So there you go, guys. Nice and easy to find, and then you can immediately start watching the series afterwards because that's also on Netflix.
That is true.
So yeah, watch the film. What are we going to watch next week?
Next week we're going to watch Hacksaw Ridge.
Okay.
Yep. So, ever heard of that one, Jordan?
Nope.
Okay.
I think I've heard of it.
I have
no idea. No idea what it's
just no. When that came up on the generator, I thought, "What the fuck is this film?" So yeah,
save your prediction.
Watch that one, and I'll see you next week.
Okay. I will also be here, so I'll see you as well.
Cool. Bye now.
Bye.
And as the ant said to God, that's the end of a podcast. I just love that. When I listened back to that, man, like from that podcast ages ago, that was just funny. Just because I've never heard that being used anywhere. So that for me is a Jordan Deere quote, not from anything else. So as the ant said to God, that's the end of a podcast. And if you want to find us at 250 Reasons on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you want to email your 15-second pitch at 250reasons@gmail.com, you can do that. Subscribe on Podbean, Acast, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. To be honest, you're listening to this podcast on one of those things, so just press the button that says subscribe, and you're going to get us in your feed every single week.
Yeah.
Just makes your life a bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
So, go do that too.
Enjoy.